You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hey friends, what's poppin'? And welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Smudge my glasses. I just cleaned these. What's up? Yes, welcome back. How's it going? Chelsea are going away to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Remember last season we went there, they went down to 9 men. Nicholas Jackson scored probably the most criticised hat-trick of all time, but who cares? He scored a hat-trick away against bitter rivals Tottenham in his first season. Yeah, man. Look, let's be real here, yeah? We are second in the Premier League. Second, not joint second, actually second in the Premier League. And we're looking good, dude. We're looking good. The squad's great. We can rotate well. The feeling is good. The narrative is changing. And this is an opportunity to go away against a big team in Tottenham, as loath as I am to admit, and a big stadium, a big shiny stadium, take 3 points and continue the positive narrative moving forwards. We're going to get into it today. We're going to build a lineup. I think it's going to be interesting and fun because, of course, we saw a bit of rotation midweek when we beat Saints away 5-1. We made 7 ruddy changes, mate. So I expect some players to come back in. Some players started midweek that are going to be a little bit tired. But Tottenham, they played the day after as well. And it's not like we've got to travel up north or whatever. It's literally still in London, Tottenham Hotspur. So we're going to get into it, guys. Just a quick bit of housework. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for continuing to support the content here on Football Therapy. By the way, just a quick, not announcement, posing a question here. For many years, I've been doing YouTube, and over the years, people have asked me about merch, and I've been thinking about releasing some merch, for the OGs out there, some Goat Gang merch. I'm actually wearing Hugh Wizzy's fraud merch, which is interesting. Look, I like the idea. I might get some hoodies, some tees, like some high quality stuff, and like maybe beanies or something. Let me know I'll do a poll maybe on the community tab as well, but let me know if that's something that would interest you. I know it would interest some people, so I might just do it anyway. But let's get into it. All right, man. Let's take a look at Spurs, shall we? They lost to Tottenham. Lol. They lost to Bournemouth, excuse me. Away at Bournemouth, which, by the way, us winning 1-0 with a Christopher Nkunku goal is looking more and more impressive. So he's scored a couple of Prem goals now in Nkunku, as well as loads of goals and cups in Europe and stuff. This is important for him. Let's have a look. Because look, firstly, Spurs, they seem to do better against the good teams. They slapped up Man City 4-0. They beat Aston Villa. They beat Man United all convincingly. They fall short against Bournemouth. They fell short against Fulham. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. So Chelsea, who we will want to have the ball, they might do well against. Let's have a look here. Stats away at the Vitality. Only 34%. That's all they wanted. They did have 21 shots. So they double the shots on target and nearly the double shots than the Tottenham. So basically, they played the game here. Bournemouth hustle. They had the game plan against what I believe is a weakened... not that weakened. Apparently, Davies might not be available. Of course, Romero might not be back. Van de Ven might not be back. I think Destiny Udogie will be playing. Solanke's apparently tired. And of course, again, they played a day after us, and there'll be less rotation. So you can imagine, actually, we'll rotate a lot of new players in, and this is something similar that they will be putting in. Of course, players that didn't start, they came on. Pedro Porro, very, very good, can start. Timo Werner. I mean, the Chelsea fans still love Timo Werner, and if like the worst happened and he scored against us, which touch wood he doesn't, he wouldn't celebrate. He wouldn't celebrate like Kai Havertz. I don't think he would anyway, because he always felt the love from Chelsea. I don't know. But of course, Son came on as well. These are players that could all probably start against Chelsea, I guess, and then offer a lot better football. But still, they're not full strength. They're missing players. And I think by all accounts, they're like red zoning a little bit. And I mean that as in being tired and fatigued. Look, guys, this is a huge game. Tottenham away obviously had an amazing result last campaign, but it was a bit of a not an anomaly, but it was a crazy game. There was the "it's just who we are, mate" game when he played 9 players on the halfway line and just gifted us the game, really, didn't they? So, but it is huge for Maresca. Just midweek, the optics of the narrative, but the story's really, really gone in his favour, Enzo Maresca, because they're singing his name. They were singing 2 songs for Enzo Maresca, chanting his name, but also singing a song about him. The Chelsea fans away support, which by the way is an excellent away support. Shout out to all the Chelsea away from home lot, home and away, and overseas, and Leicester, as the chant goes. Yeah, they were also singing "We've Got Our Chelsea Back," which, like, I would have wished they kept their powder dry for one more game. But no, why not? Enjoy it, have fun, it's good. You deserve it. Chelsea fans deserve this, bro. We're not entitled, Chelsea fans, I don't think, because we've, a lot of the old school lot remember the olden days, the pre-Roman days. But even in the I always say it, man, even in the 90s, Chelsea were good. The Hullet for Yali days, Chelsea were good. But we've never had this entitlement to just definitely be winning all the time, or to be playing a particular brand of football. But we expect eventually to be challenging again at one point. And it's been 2 years in the wilderness. The Chelsea fans have been patient, and it's looking good again. So enjoy yourself. Just enjoy it. I'm going to pause the recording to sip my drink. And we're back. I was just seeing if I pressed the button correctly there. Yeah, man. So let's build a lineup. Huge game for Enzo Maresca. He's obviously said in post-match, after the win against Southampton, and indeed his pre-match press conference, he explained absolutely Sanchez will be starting in goal for Chelsea. That was like a non-negotiable. And other than that, he said the only unavailable player is, of course, Reece James and Wesley Fofana, but is Mykhailo Mudryk. Remember Amari Kellyman? That was such a exercise in pure profit, wasn't it, with the Ian Maatsen deal? I mean, he's meant to be highly rated, but he's not even referenced anymore, bro. So we know Rob Sanchez is going to start in goal. I don't see Renato Vega starting away at Tottenham. He came on to rest Cucurella, which to me says absolutely Mark Cucurella will be starting at left back in this system. Similarly, Levi Colwill is good to friggin' go, my guys. He was completely rested in the midweek. An important passing centre-back in the Enzo Maresca Chelsea system. He will be there to go. And it would seem that Benoit Badiashile, it just doesn't matter that he's a left-footed centre-back and has played left centre-back for Chelsea. Heck, he's even played left-back for Chelsea. He will be playing right centre-back. Kind of like winning some of the streets back. Not completely convinced yet. He's always been good at passing. I think that's been, sort of understood and accepted broadly. So now you've got 2 really good passing centre-backs. Hopefully, can get the ball over the top and in behind. Because, guys, this is going to be probably a very transitional game. There's going to be space in behind a lot for Chelsea, and then Chelsea, depending on how we counter press and move, there'll be a lot of space in behind us. Like the bookmakers will say there's going to be goals in this game. So yeah, right. It was spoken. I was already expecting it, but it was referenced that we could see it in the future. I believe we will see it now. Moises Caicedo. Oh yeah. He's not right back. Moises Caicedo starting at right back. Of course, he did it for Brighton. Actually, more as a conventional right back as well, but it works perfectly for us here because he can invert into midfield. Really interestingly, actually, Enzo Maresca said in his press conference today that as he arrived at Chelsea, before he'd even arrived, he was thinking about Caicedo inverting into midfield. Of course, he had Reece James, which could work. We wanted to see Reece James do it. Reece James is an amazing player. He can play right back, right centre back, central defensive midfield, right wing back. He can invert, basically. James is injured. He's going to be a few more weeks still. Caicedo is an amazing player. He's in form. He's trending in the right direction. And he will, I think, play there over, say, a Malo Gusto. I think if we get this game sewn up, fingers crossed we do well and we go ahead and we can afford the opportunity to rest Caicedo, take him off, maybe, and then bring on a Malo Gusto, or maybe you bring on a Malo Gusto and move Caicedo into midfield if we're controlling the game a bit more. I don't know when the next game is, how much rest he'll get, or if it's European. If it's a fully B team game next, then they might just think, play Caicedo and rest him for a week after. We'll see what happens, but I do expect him to start in the inverting right back role here, which means returning to the side, Romeo Lavia in central defensive midfield, partnering and Enzo Fernandez, who's on a crazy not remontada, because he was never like bad. It was just about finding a way for him to work. So essentially, we know what happens here. Enzo goes there as an advanced 8. Lavia will go sort of here or here as a sort of double pivot player. Caicedo will join him here or here as a double pivot player. Badiashile, again, will move over onto the right as a left footer, which seems kind of crazy. But why not? Why not? So, yeah, which of course, absolutely an important game away at, I'm just going to do the normal cards. At Tottenham, you of course are playing Cole Palmer. There's just no arguments whatsoever. He wants to play every game. Enzo Maresca speaks about he's good to go. He's just good to go. So he will be good to go. Yes, like I said, Caicedo will invert into the midfield, join Lavia. Fernandez will be a slightly deeper left 8, and then Cole Palmer will be like in that pocket here, but he can go wherever he wants, basically. And that is a very functional, kind of like, it might even make a midfield diamond, to be honest, if Caicedo sits in there and Lavia goes to the right. We did see a diamond a little bit with Maresca for a game and a half, maybe. Right, the next easiest here is Nicholas Jackson. He's completely rested for this game. He scored a hat-trick in this fixture last season. He's The Athletic have done an article, and I haven't read it yet, I must admit, but I've heard Toomey speak about it, an article on Nico Jackson's pressing, basically, which sounds so nerdy, but it is the kind of stuff I like, and why he's one of the best pressing strikers ever. Yes, he's got goals, he's got a few assists, but the reason why coaches love Jackson, we saw that with Pochettino saying he could be one of the best. Maresca can't stop singing his praising. It's because the nerdy people, which are football coaches, they see, the passes per defensive actions metrics and how that correlates with strikers pressing and stuff like that. They see the amazing work he does. He's rested. He scores goals. He is absolutely, you can put the farm on Nicholas Jackson starting up top, which leads us to probably the most interesting discussion about this lineup, the wingers. Because Noni Madueke won man of the match last time out. Great player. Mudryk, in theory, as a profile, would suit this game because he can run in behind, but even with his speed, he's not that high up the hierarchy at the moment to be starting an important game for Chelsea. So you think Noni? For me, again, I'm nailing my colours to the mast. For long term, in games that Chelsea want to dominate, which in the future we want to be every game, my starting left winger is Jadon Sancho, which is his preferred position, and my starting right winger is Pedro Neto, which is his preferred position, which might seem harsh on Noni, but because Jadon Sancho isn't a fast player. Like Fernandez isn't particularly fast, but he won't necessarily need to be. He can be the guy playing in Palmer, Jackson, wingers at times, and then bombing into the box late, like, Gundogan has recently or whatever. So, that being said, it's not going to be Jadon Sancho because it's just literally a profiling thing. Jadon's good at slowing the game down, and when we're like dominating possession around the box, which, by the way, should be most games in the Premier League. Chelsea should be dominating most games in the Premier League. So therefore, for me, most of the time in the start, it should be Jadon Sancho. But because we need speed, I am going to put, again, out of position, but I'm going to put Pedro Neto there. And obviously he can swap, and if someone else comes on, if a Mudryk or a Sancho comes on, he can move over to the right, which means man of the match Noni Madueke gets to keep his place in the starting lineup, which I think is pretty strong. Of course, you could see substitute appearances from Sancho, from Mudryk, and Vega, you'd imagine, to sort of maybe I really would like to try and protect Caicedo. We could, if Palmer is knackered or got a little kick or something, you could absolutely bring on Joao Felix to play in his role. We already know Felix has started loads of games here, but often, we've seen Joao Felix start on the left wing, which actually makes you think to a degree, like, would you be so surprised if you saw, this? I doubt we will see it, but you could see something like that, the Portuguese wide men, like maybe you sort of look for a little bit more breaking down this hand side with Pedro and Jackson, and a little bit more playmaking from this hand side. Maybe, but I do imagine it will be Neto on the left and Noni Madueke on the right. All right, cool. Look, I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet here because Tottenham do have devastatingly good players. They also just play better against better teams. We are a better team now. That's something we can positively own. That is something that we can, comfortably hold. And therefore, Tottenham will be a very threatening opposition. They're away. It's away. They'll want a response from, recent poor performances against Fulham and Bournemouth. They'll be rallying. Chelsea are coming to town. They'll do everything to spoil the party. It's going to be tough. But despite all that, I think we will win. But I think it will be a bit of a goal fest. I just see them raising their game like they did against Man City, Villa, United. I do see them raising their game against Chelsea. I think it's going to be hella tough. But I'm gonna, because they've not conceded that many goals. Hold on, I'm just gonna check. Okay, so I'm just looking now. They've conceded 1 to Bournemouth, 1 to Fulham. They did concede 2 to Roma. That might have been rotated. Of course, they beat Man City 4-0. They did concede 2 to Ipswich at home, of course, but they never eat loads of goals. That's despite their high line, despite their sort of risky, high-octane pressing football. I'm going to not go like blockbuster here. I'm going to predict a Chelsea win, but I'm going to predict Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3, which will be more, 3 goals would be the most they've conceded since they lost to Galatasaray and they got a red card in that game. But I'm looking, have they conceded 3 goals in the Premier League this season? I'm not sure they have, I'm looking. No, they've conceded 2. I haven't seen them concede 3 here. Yeah, so it will be the first time this season they've conceded 3 goals. So that's the thing. People talk about that high line and people talk about the crazy stuff. But they do have, what's his fate? They don't have Vicario in goal. They do have some problems with centre-backs. Chelsea are the top scorers in the Premier League. So if anyone's going to do it, it's us, right? We love a goal. So I'm going to say Tottenham 2, Chelsea 3, or 3-2 to Chelsea. I'll absolutely take that to the bank, by the way, an away win at Tottenham. With rotating players in and out. And I'll be very, very happy with that. Let me know what you think, though. Leave me your ideas of how the game will go, line up, and score predictions. Maybe let me know if you think merch is something you'd be interested in. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, keep it locked. See you soon. Peace.